April is a catch-up month for me because I have not been getting through what I hoped I would get through at this point. Despite the fact I actually planned things out with the intention of being behind, a few things have kind of thrown that off kilter. This month I want to knock out the books I was supposed to be reading for my bubblegum pools, which I have 2 of them now. I want to knock out my buzzword-a-thons. I think I only have, oh no, I have 3, don't I? I think I have 3 I have to get through. Hold on a second. I have 2 of them. I think I'm missing one. Wait a second. I put it back on the shelf when I didn't mean to. Where did I put that? Oh, it's over here. Oh, man. Now I think I have everything I need. Okay, so goals. Bubblegum machine pools from last month and this month. Buzzword-a-thon books for 1 from last month and 2 from this month. And then I want to read one of my 20 and 2026 books and maybe a bubblegum pool. Okay, so first thing, the bubblegum pools, which was 26 bubblegum pools for 2026. Last month I was supposed to read Sing the Four Quarters by Tanya Huff. Didn't do that. And I don't think I have the other 4 books. No, 3 books in the series. It's a 4-book series. I don't know if I'm going to get through those this month because spoiler alert, we're halfway through the month and I've read 1 book. Eye of the World put me into a ridiculous reading slump. So bad that I'm reading Wuthering Heights for the 2nd time, which is one of my favorite classics, and I'm struggling to get through it. That's unheard of. It's ridiculous. And then I need to read A Memory of Love by Beatrice Small, which I think is a standalone. Fingers crossed. If it's not, I will not be reading the next one in the series in this vlog or this month, but maybe at some point. She's wearing blue eyeshadow on that cover. Interesting. Oh, that's this one. This lady is raised as a boy to fight and all this stuff. And then she meets a man who teaches her the way of erotic love. This was before I started reading the backside of the books I get at my used book sale. We'll see what happens with that one. If I don't get through it, I don't get through it. For the 26 and 2026, I'm just going to try to read Brother because it's the only one I have a hold on right now. And then for my Buzzword-a-thon books, for last month's movement prompt, I didn't end up reading anything because the book I was reading for it, I DNF'd. I'm going to reread Illusions of Fate by Kiersten White, which has movement on it in the form of birds. and I spoiled the other one. I did read this. When did I read this, actually? Ooh. Addendum to what is going to be coming up. I just got a hold for Strange Buildings. My hold for Strange Buildings came in, so I'm gonna add that to this one, but we'll talk about that in a second before I forget what I was doing. So I read this 3 years ago. Feels like longer than that, but I read this 3 years ago and I remember really liking it up until the end because the ending just kind of, it wasn't anything big, it just kind of like cut off, and I was so jarred by that it kind of soured the entire experience for me. But now that I know what's happening, I'm going to reread this and give it a go again. This was very House Moving Castle coded, like extremely so. And I was having a really good time. I like the way Kiersten White writes. I enjoy their writing style. I enjoy their plots. I just really didn't like the ending of this one, but I want to try it again. And now that I know what's coming, maybe I gave it a 3. Did I give it a 3 or a 3.5? I gave it a 3. Maybe it's still a 3. Maybe now that I know what's coming, it's a higher rating. I don't know. I just want to give this one another go. And then I'm going to be reading the Princess Diaries for the accessory prompt, because on the front of Princess Diaries, we have a crown. The Princess Diaries was one of my favorite movies as a kid. Princess Diaries 2 just rewired my brain on romance. I was a big Princess Diaries fan, big Anne Hathaway fan. I think I read this after I watched the movie. God, what year was that? Hold on. When did the Princess Diaries come out? Because I found out it was a book. 2001 is when it came out. So I probably read the book in 2001, 2002, which would have made me 9 or 10. I don't know if this is actually a book for a 9 or 10-year-old. So if I was reading this, oops, I'll get back to you on that. Because Meg Cabot was an author I read when I was in middle school and a little bit of elementary school. Not really. It was more of a middle school book for me. And then high school. And I don't recall her books necessarily being preteen and younger friendly. So I feel like I've read this though. I'm pretty sure I picked this up. I just don't remember anything about it at all. But I have the first 3 books. So I'm probably gonna read the whole series though. And then for the other prompt, I have a digital book. I have The Last Flight for, oh, I don't remember what that prompt is called. It's like first, second, third, first, last. For that, and that'll be my Buzzword-a-thon books. And then I want to read Strange Buildings because it just came in and I need to read Strange Buildings. I want to read that so bad. I've been having such a good time with Uketsu's writing and just like the way everything is mapped out. I have such a good time. I want to read it. Strange Pictures is still my favorite one, but I want to read Strange Buildings very badly. So that is also going to be on the list, which puts me at how many books? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. That's a lot of books. But what if I DNF something? Fuck it, let's do a bubblegum poll and see how we go. If it's something I can't read in this vlog, I'll read it in the next one. I just really need to get out of that slump that Eye of the World put me in, because it's driving me nuts that I'm reading things that I'm just like, I don't want to read this. What's going on? Although maybe that's not Eye of the World's fault. I have been DNFing a lot more ever since I've committed myself to DNFing things. But it's just like, Wuthering Heights is an indicator that it did something to me. And I don't want to be in a slump. So please don't be too long. All right, it's like an orange, peachy orange color. Is that even going to show up? Don't think so. Okay. And these are in stars. They're not unraveled. So I have to like actually tear them open. How did I do this? It's been a while since I've had them in stars, so I can't. Oh, Emily Wilde, which I already ended up reading. Technically, I have the other 2 Emily Wilde books, so I could just read the next book in the Emily Wilde series. I kind of want to do that, actually. So the next book in the Emily Wilde series is The Map of the Otherlands, and I really enjoyed the first one. I give it 4 stars. So I'm hoping this one is also. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is the dynamic between her and, what is his name? Why do I want to call him Wallace? It's not Wallace. What is his name? Bamblebee. Wallace? Okay. Bamblebee. I enjoyed the way the relationship was set up in the first book. Just like the background stories that we were getting for both of them. Mostly for Bamblebee. Is it Bamblebee or Bramblebee? God damn it. Bamblebee. Okay. God forbid I remember a man's name, sorry. Bamblebee, because I didn't like his character to start with. I thought it was funny how he was following Emily around and, you know, just happened to follow her on her expedition because he's fucking annoying like that. I want to see what ends up happening. I'm going to try not to spoil the first book. It's very difficult, but I want to see what happens with their relationship. This one might not have a whole lot of updates to it, so maybe it's a good thing that I pulled this when I have 7 other books that I do have to give updates on, because this might be very scarce as I try not to spoil the first book. But if you see me holding this up at any point, if you're worried that I might spoil something accidentally, and because I think I've done that before, look away. Like, just skip over the parts if I'm holding it. I will make sure to hold this up every time I'm talking about it. Just skip over those parts if you're scared. I will do my best though, I promise. And I'm really excited. I got Strange Buildings, I got Emily Wilde. It's gonna be fun. So I did a dumb thing and I wasn't paying attention. I was really tired and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing on my books when I was returning a book, and I accidentally returned Strange Buildings. I got like 2 pages in and then I accidentally returned it. So I can't even like have the excuse that like they had the same color cover or something because it's in black and white. So I will not be, I will be reading Strange Buildings. I'm sure it'll come in at some point during this vlog, or I can just extend the vlog until it comes in. But I will not be starting with Strange Buildings, even though I was really excited about that. Instead, I'm going to start with The Princess Diaries because it's short and I think I could knock it out relatively fast. Yeah, this is like short. Is this set up like an actual diary? You know, that would make sense. The Princess Diaries. But the movie isn't set up like a diary. So I'm going to have to rewatch The Princess Diaries because I don't remember. Ooh, that'll be fun. This is short. I think I could knock it out relatively fast and just get that over with. I wanted to start with Strange Buildings and then move into Emily Wilde so I could have like a, what is that called? Dichotomy of 2 different like genres that I really enjoy, with 2 books that I think I'm going to really enjoy this one, and I think I'm going to really enjoy Strange Buildings. So I'm going to try to wait on Emily Wilde until I can get Strange Buildings in, and then maybe I'll get like 2 high ratings back to back. But for the moment, I know this is not going to get a high rating. It's just not. But that doesn't mean I don't want to read it. Let me see how I feel after this, and I'll decide if I want fantasy, historical romance, or Howl's Moving Castle, but not. Was her mom dating the algebra teacher in the movie? I don't remember that. I feel like she was dating somebody in the second movie, but I think in the first one I don't think her mom was dating her algebra teacher in the first one. But like I remember something I must have read this at some point because I feel like I remember her mother dating the algebra teacher, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't in the movies. I really wish I had had good grades back when I was in high school. I read all 3. And it was basically like a 2-star sweep, but I had a good time. They're pretty different from the movie, and in the sense that like I think these 3 books actually are condensed in a way into the first movie with certain aspects cut out. For example, there's a character named Kenny in two of the books, who's a pretty important character who I'm pretty sure doesn't show up in the movie. I still have to watch the movie, but also don't mind all of this. I got stuck in the rain. Much like the movie, you are following Mia as she's learning that she is a princess. She's not prepared for it, and she has to get training from her grandmother, to basically be a proper princess who will eventually rule over Genovia. Big difference though, she's 14 in this. I don't think she's 14 in the movie. She's probably like 16, 17. But much like the movie, from what I remember, Lily was insufferable in the movie. She continues to be insufferable in the books, or she was insufferable in the books and continued to be insufferable in the movie. I don't like Lily. I don't like Lily at all. In fact, there's a second friend in the series called Tina, who I liked a lot. And I don't remember Tina being in the books, the movie at all. I think, though I don't remember reading these in middle school / high school, I think I probably would have liked them a lot more than I did now. Though I did enjoy the way they were written, Meg Cabot is just very easy. That's how you pronounce it, Cabot. It's just very easy to read. And they're very like fluffy, not necessarily nothing books, because they do have a lot of commentary that I appreciated even in today's era. For example, there are 1 or 2 like minor characters that are actually transgender, and it's just like, they mention once in a while that she used to be he, and then they don't, it's just like, whatever. They don't misgender her at all. They might have both been female. I just very specifically remember in the 3rd book, they mention one of the neighbors is transgender, and she's giving me advice about something. But I read that and I was like, oh, that's refreshing considering the time frame. I'm a little out of it. The rain knocked me all over the place. Rain makes me a little ditzy, as if I'm not already there. But overall, I would still recommend this to, she's 14, but I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend this to middle grade so much as like early high school. 14 is early high school, yeah, okay. So I would recommend this for a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, that relative realm. And I probably will finish the series because I just found out there's probably like 15 books, and one of them was published during like COVID era. So I want to see what that's about, but I have to read all the books to get there. I also started The Last Flight, and I'm like 36 or 7% of the way into it, and it's all right. I feel like the beginning was much stronger than whatever I'm at right now. In The Last Flight, you're following a woman named Claire who is in an abusive relationship with he's not like famous, but he is like from an elite family, and she married into this family to like get away from her past because her mother and sister had died, and she just wanted something better for her life. So she marries this man who is wealthy. She thinks this is going to be great. Turns out he's abusive, he's hitting her, and we open with her getting ready to escape. She has documents printed, she has a fake ID printed, she's getting ready to escape when she gets to this place that they're having an event at. Except the day of, she finds out she's actually not going to that place where all of her documents are getting sent to. She's going to Puerto Rico for hurricane relief. So her husband is going to get those documents. She's going to Puerto Rico. He's going to find out she's going to be stuck doing this event thing. And it's just, it's all blowing up for her. When she gets to the airport, there's this woman at the bar crying and wanting to, like, her husband had just died. She just wants to start over, start a new life, be a completely different person. She wants to leave her past behind. Claire's like, I understand that. I also wanted to do that, and I want to do it again. And they end up switching tickets. Did I say that at the bar in the airport? Bar in the airport. They switch tickets. This new woman, Ava, is going to go to Puerto Rico and just disappear. Claire's going to go to California and also just disappear. Fast forward, Claire lands in California, turns on the news, and finds out the flight that had been going to Puerto Rico has crashed. And now she's presumed dead. And also, we don't know what happened to Ava because she was on that flight. She must be dead. Like, what is going on? Which means Claire essentially got someone killed. The first couple of chapters I enjoyed. They were intriguing. You're actually getting little snippets of Ava before the flight. So you're learning about Ava up until, I guess, she switches her tickets with Claire. You're getting Claire throughout the entire thing. And I'm kind of bored. I'm waiting for a twist. There's got to be a twist in here somewhere that has to do with, I guess, Ava or something with Claire, maybe Claire's family, maybe her husband. I haven't gotten to it yet. And I'm just kind of bored. I'm going to push through because I want to see where the twist, there better be a twist. If there's not a twist, this is not going to be the book for me. But I won't find out until the end of the book, so. But since that one is boring me, I have decided I also want to start Emily Wilde. Even though I don't have my copy of Strange Buildings in yet. It's supposed to come in soon, so I'll just read that as soon as it comes in. But I don't feel like waiting. I'm going to read Emily Wilde. Because I know this is going to be on the, it's not really, well, I guess this one could be. If it's anything like the first book, it's not exactly fluffy, but it's also like, the stakes are higher, but they're still like fun stakes. Which is probably why I liked Legend of the Lattes, because there were some stakes, but they were like, they were like cozy kind of stakes. I don't know, I was there for it. I'm also here for it in Emily Wilde. So if this is anything like the first one, I'm still gonna have a good time. And I want to know what's gonna go on with Wendell, not Bramblebee, Bamblebee, but his name is Wendell. So I want to see what is going to happen between those two, and also Shadow, because I miss Shadow. I flew through this. Like, what did I think I put it up like a day, not even a day ago, and I'm done with it. This read so fast. I think it's because this is like my perfect kind of pacing. Can I articulate how it's my favorite kind of pacing, my perfect kind of pacing? Not really, but like pacing is like a huge issue when it comes to me and books, and if the pacing is not it, I'm not there for it typically. But this, I was here the entire time and I was engaged. I wanted to know what was going to happen next. I wanted to know what Emily was going to do. I wanted to know what Wendell was going to do. Emily's niece Ariadne is there and she was involved a lot, and then there is a professor named, I don't remember his first name, something Rose, who was kind of like, not rivals, because technically Wendell is considered Emily's rival. He kind of butts heads with Emily, but he has to go along, and you learn his background with the idea of dryadology, the study of dryadology. One moment. And all in all, 4 stars. Such a good time. I can't wait to read the 3rd one. And I'm kind of sad that there's only 3 books, because this is just so much fun. The only thing I think is missing for me is this is an adventure story with cozy aspects. While Emily is very observant of her background, you are locked specifically in Emily's viewpoint for a majority of the time. Okay, there is like a little Wendell section. There was a little Wendell section in the last one. There's a little Wendell section in this one. But the thing that's missing for me is because we're so locked into Emily's viewpoint specifically, I feel like we're missing a lot of details to other things. She's very like narrow tunnel vision to certain things. And she doesn't have a lot of emotion. She does at points, but like for the general, she's very scientific. She's very analytical. The emotion is just not there for the most part. Whereas I think where Wendell comes in, Wendell is very emotional. And Emily will let you know that Wendell is very emotional about certain things. So I think that, like, the whimsy of having an emotional character is a little bit lost, but that's okay. I would love a series from Wendell's point of view, though, on that note. The Last Flight, however, whereas Emily Wilde, I literally got through it in a day. The Last Flight, I don't know how long it took me to get through it, but it felt like it was fucking forever. 1 star. It set me up well for in like the first couple of chapters where I thought I was really like, this was feeling like a 4 star. And then it just got really boring really fast, and it did not change from that boring. There were a couple of twists here and there, but they weren't like, oh my god, twists for me. They were like, yeah, okay, that makes sense, which was not what I was hoping for in a thriller. So this was not my kind of thriller. And I didn't like that ending. The epilogue got to me a little bit. Not gonna lie, I did sit there like, oh, but overall, no. So 1 star for me, maybe a 1.5. We're gonna keep it at 1 star. I just think it could have been done better. Now I think I'm gonna switch over to Brother by Ania Ahlborn, and my copy, I ended up being able to get a physical copy of Strange Buildings by Uketsu at the library. So I'm gonna go pick that up, start the physical copy of that, and a digital copy of Brother. I'm assuming Strange Buildings is a lot like Strange Houses, where it's like the floor plans and something odd is going on. Brother, however, I don't know anything about Brother. I know it's an Appalachian story, which historically I have not done well with, but maybe this one will be different, because I'm pretty sure it's just about murder. Like, it's a murder family up in the Appalachian Hills. Appalachian Mountains, not hills. Right? Yeah, Appalachian Mountains. One of the family is not quite like the other members of the murder family, and he wants to be different. But I don't really know how, but the way Seed was, I'm kind of curious about how this is going to go, because I wouldn't be surprised if it ended a certain way. So I'll get through that, and I'll get through Strange Buildings. I still have to get through, I have another place I have to be at the end of the month. Not the end of the month, the start of next month. So I still have 3, thank you Hazel, things I have to, I'm not gonna be able to get through all of these in time. There might be a little bit of a jump. I don't know if it'll be noticeable, but if you notice there's like a jump in this vlog, it's because I left for West Virginia and came back and finished this vlog. Sorry about that. I'm not great at planning. I might start A Memory of Love also, because I read the first chapter of this and then I put it aside for later because I want to reread that first chapter. Maybe I'll also start on this again, and then we'll see what happens with Illusions of Fate and Sing the Four Quarters. As predicted, the second I got my hands on this, I flew through it. It's upside down. Why do I keep doing that? It's so hard to explain why. I ended up giving it 4 stars, but it really, I can't. Hand-holding, usually I don't like in books. Over-explained endings, I usually don't like in books. Having to suspend my disbelief in order for things to like make sense in a way, it still doesn't fully make sense, I don't typically like. I give this 4 stars. I'm still having such a good time with it. The writing and the whole as a whole. Again, I think it has to do with the pacing and also how unusual the story is. I think if it had been a story that I was used to and I had seen before, and even if I was having a good time, I ended up like having to suspend my disbelief in order to understand or make sense of the ending. I don't think I would have given it a 4, but this is just so different. There is one little thing in this that did irk me, that I'm not going to explain because it is a spoiler. Let's just say it has to do with bones. There's an aspect of bones. There's something that has to do with bones in here where I can't explain it without spoiling it, but there's just one plot hole in this that did bother me a little bit. All in all, I like this more than Strange Houses. I think I still like Strange Pictures the best though. And these always take a turn I'm not expecting. The format is always interesting. Like I wasn't bored. If I can get through a book like that in a day and not be bored, this is what, 300 and something pages? Yeah, almost 400 pages. And if I can fly through it like that, you're doing something good with your pacing. You're really keeping me locked in, and that's what I want out of a book. I want to be I'm sorry, honey. I want to be locked the fuck in, and that's what this does for me. It's still not a 5-star. I don't know what would make it a 5-star for me. I think in general this is just going to be like a solid 4-star-ish series, but I will continue to be picking up like everything that I can from Uketsu, maybe even the graphic novel. We'll see about that. If I'm ever in like a manga stint again. I haven't read manga in a while. In contrast, Brother, why did I say it like that? Brother is kind of boring, not gonna lie. Admittedly, I'm only a quarter of the way into it. I don't know, what did I do? Is that my reader? Yeah. I'm only about a quarter of the way into Brother, but I'm kind of bored, and I hope that changes. But at the moment, I'm just kind of like, the thing is, I'm worried this is going to be the Last Flight situation, where it started off okay, and then I was bored, and then I stayed bored throughout, and it was not my cup of tea, period. The difference is I started off bored with this one, and I'm still bored a quarter of the way through, and it's not very long. So I think I'll give it to like 50% before I decide if I'm going to DNF it or not. But if I'm still bored by 50%, I'm not going to keep reading it. Although I almost want to keep reading it, because if this one is anything like Seed, it's that last chapter that's really going to be like, what? So I kind of want to stay for that. I don't know. We'll see. I'll check back in at my 50% mark and let you know what we're doing. There is going to be a little bit of a break here, so I come back looking a little bit different. I don't know if I'll probably come back at the 50% mark, but following that, if I look a little bit different, it's because it's been like a week. I have to go do something else. So just ignore that. Also, ignore this, because I kind of forgot that was there. Don't look at her. I did get to the halfway point and I'm still kind of bored, but I think I will be continuing it, because if it's anything like Seed, the ending of that one got me. So I would like to see what Ahlborn has in store, but I'm still bored. Like there are moments here and there where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in again. What's going on? And then I revert back to, okay, well, we're going. We're definitely going. I'll finish it, but it might not be a very high rating. My cat's shaking the camera a little bit. I finished reading Brother and I ended up giving it 2 stars. I did pick this list unsure about a few of them, and Brother was one of them because I really don't know anything about Ania Ahlborn's works. I just keep picking them up like on a whim and seeing what happens, which I did for this one too. And I was bored at the start, and I did continue to be bored throughout the entire book. I thought the setup to the twist was good. Like the idea of it, the essence of it, I thought was good. The execution itself though, it fell flat for me. I think if it had been longer and we had like more build up to the twist, it might have hit me a little bit harder. That being said, it wasn't terribly paced. It honestly was a really pretty well paced. What am I saying? It was a pretty well-paced story. I just think it could have done well with a little bit more build up towards the twist itself. And I guess in retrospect, it actually wasn't as boring as I thought it was, now that I understand what was happening for the ending. But up until that point, I was just like, why are we doing this? What is the point? I'm bored. But it made more sense in the end. Figures. I'm actually going to be reading A Memory of Love next. I actually have already started it. I just don't know where I put the book. Might have left it in the car. It may be a DNF. I'm not gonna lie. I read what I thought was the first chapter. It's actually the prologue. I read the prologue and then the first chapter. And while it's really easy to read, there are some decisions that have been made that I am not vibing with. To start with, actually, this was published, I think, in 2000. Why is the main character's mother explicitly stated to be 14 the first time she gets pregnant by the prince? Because you're following a sibling duo, a brother and sister, who start off being illegitimate children of the prince, who he states many times like he should have married their mother. He didn't, because she's lower class. She's not actually any like semblance of royalty. but he loves her. He ends up being loyal to her, only has children with her. She dies in childbirth with the third child, what would be their third child, and he's left with the 2 children. He legitimizes them. That's it. So now they're the prince and the princess. While he's talking about courting their mother, he explains that he like stole her off when she was 14 and got her pregnant. Why did we need that information? Why did you have to tell us that what was the point of telling us that you got her pregnant at 14? Why? And it gives me bad vibes for what's to come, especially considering our main character is female. I'm going to give it a little while longer, but just don't be. No one's going to be surprised if I DNF this. That's not a rash I just scratched, and my skin reacts wonderfully whenever I do anything. So anyway, hi, it's been a minute. I started this, in April? It's June 8th. I'll get this vlog done eventually. How eventually? I don't know about that, but I'll get it done eventually. I'm now, how many pages? I'm gonna say 50, that's not right. 230 pages into A Memory of Love. And it's going. I don't even know what to say about this one because it's definitely like one of those romances of the time. It was published in 2000, I think, and it's just got those like romance vibes to it where the girl is defiant and not quite what her husband, who is not like the person for her, but she still gets married to him, is expecting. She meets another man, he's like embracing all that she is and not what she's supposed to be. She's falling for him. It's structured a little strangely, but it's just like a core romance. It's just a romance at the base of it, and it just really reminds me of a lot of books from like this era, the 70s, the 80s, so the 90s, like that era of romance. This just reminds me so much of it, and I don't necessarily want to DNF it because it's definitely not going to get higher than a 3. It probably won't get higher than a 2, especially with the way it's going, but I also don't really want to put it down because now I want to know what's okay. Hold on, back up. We've got Wynne, who is our main character. She's raised like a man in a sense. Her father doesn't like that. He sends her off to get trained as a woman by his sister. She comes back, she's being married off. She gets married to this guy. He expects her to be one way, she's another way, but she's really trying hard to be this way because it's what's expected of her. But she's like a sword fighter. So she goes off, she starts sword fighting. She ends up in a battle by accident, gets captured by another, they call them infidels. It's the era of, oh, what king is it? Henry? One of the Henrys? That does not narrow it down. There's a lot of Henrys. Wait a minute. It said which Henry it was. Actually, it said what year it was. Wait a second. 1270. So it's like that era. She gets captured, finds out they find out she's a woman. She gets added to this man's harem. Lo and behold, where her husband was failing to accommodate her, this new man can't do that. And I'm expecting, from what I understand from the back, I'm pretty sure she falls in love with him, Amir, and then yeah, she returns to England once more. So she's currently in the harem. She's like just met this man, he took her to bed, she's been presented a whole new world, shocker. She's currently in that harem, so she at some point, based on the back, she goes back to England, and now I'm just like, I want to know what's going to happen here, because she's still expected to be the person that her first husband, well, not, she's not married to Amir, her husband Edward is expecting her to be. That's not who she is, but that's, you know, it's her duty, quote unquote. I want to know the tea. I want to know what's going to happen between these two. Is Edward going to die? Is Amir going to die? How is Wynne going to get out of this? What's going to happen? So romance aside, I want to know what's going to happen. I want the juicy bits, the other juicy bits, the non-romance juicy bits. I want like the fighting and the drama. I want the drama, and just see how we go. I'm like halfway done. Well, I'm a little more than halfway done, give or take. Following this, I do have 2 other books I have to get finished before I can finish this vlog, and that's, I still haven't read Sing the Four Quarters. I started it, I haven't gotten very far. And then I need to reread Illusions of Fate, which won't take me long because that is a reread. This is a long ass vlog. I feel like with this, at no point did Wynne actually have a say in what was going on with her life, except maybe when she rode into that battle and got herself into the situation that she ended up being in when I last updated you, because like it says, she goes back to England. Oh wait, actually, what happens after she goes back to England puts what it says in the back in perspective, because that's just, okay, yeah, she goes back to England, something happens, and the back is not what I thought it was going to be. I don't know, I hated this. She's just constantly thrust into situations that she explicitly says she does not want to be in. And yes, I understand it's the time, she has to be married, she has to, well, if she's captured, she realizes she's a woman, she is like forced to be part of this man's harem. Like, I get it, we're just representing the time period, but what the fuck was that one at the end? That was not her choice. She It was not her choice. Why did we 180 it? And suddenly she's like, yes, I was for this the whole time. I'm so glad we did this. Shut up. I'm so pissed. I give this 1 star, obviously. 10%. Okay, well, I gotta make the rest of this quick. I can't rant like I was going to because my phone's running out of power. There were points of this that were so repetitive that really knocked it down, because even though this was a long book, there was like one section every single time she explained her upbringing, she repeated the exact same thing over and over again. So if you're reading this like within a couple of days, you're gonna notice it's just like copy paste. The story was literally like copy pasted, the exact wording, the way she described it. And then it was like 3 acts just repeated from each other for Wynne. It acts like she was all for this, but I did not like the way this worked at all. Man-centered to the last. 1 star. Just no. Okay. So I think I'm going to read Illusions of Fate next, because short reread. I'm in the middle of another reading thing at the moment, so I can like slot that in relatively easily. And then we'll save Sing the 4 Quarters for last. Illusions of Fate, Sing the 4 Quarters, wrap up. I'll be back. It is so hot today. I'm about 50% of the way into Illusions of Fate, and I'm remembering more and less than I thought I did. I forgot this was insta love. Well, it's like, it's more portrayed as like instant fated love, but at the same time it's insta lust, insta love, that kind of deal, which takes away from the whole Howl's Moving Castle of it, because the thing I really like about Howl's Moving Castle is that Sophie, this man, this Howl, she does not like him, and that's just, I love that. They argue all the time, all that. I know this isn't like a Howl's Moving Castle retelling or anything like that. It's just like it's inspired. No, yeah, it's inspired by Howl's Moving Castle. But like Jessamine is obsessed with Finn. She loves Finn. She keeps having like, he's annoying, but like, oh, he's so handsome. And I'm not about that. So I forgot that. But I do remember a character in here named Eleanor who like made this whole book for me, if I remember right. I might be forgetting a certain plot point that I can't remember if it actually happened or if I thought it was happening and it didn't actually end up being that. That happens a lot, where if I'm rereading something and I can't remember like the entirety of the plot, I'll like redo things that I initially did the first time I read it, and I can't remember if that was me being incorrect or I'm remembering the actual plot. There are parts of the plot that are moving, it's quick paced, but at the same time it's like disjointed in sections, because you're literally like thrown into it pretty much off the bat. There's not really like there's lulls, but they're not satisfying, I guess is the word. I originally gave this a 3, and it might still be a 3, especially if it ends the way that I remember it ending, and I'm pretty sure it does based on a note I left in my review when I first read this. And if I'm remembering correctly, I did not like, I mean, I made a vague note about it, but there was something just like about the way this ended that ended up making it a 3 for me. And I think it's still going to be a 3. I'll continue it for Eleanor alone, if nothing else, because I love Eleanor. Jessamine and Finn are fine. And then I already forgot what Eleanor's brother is named. He's okay too. But I'll continue with this, finish it up, and we'll move along. And then I have 1 book left and I'll be done with this vlog. Don't mind me, I just accidentally took a 4-hour nap. I'm recovering from that nap. But I did finish Illusions of Fate, and in the end it was still a 3-star for me, and for different reasons. Well, not different reasons. Last time I gave it, I guess it was closer to a 3.5 last time, but we don't have point systems, and I didn't have any other thing to rate books on than Goodreads, so it was a 3. I don't know why I didn't round up. Anyway, I gave it a 3 because of the ending. The ending is literally the most abrupt thing ever, and I hate it. And this time it's both the ending, which was still way too abrupt, and honestly the structure of this one. I was paying closer attention to the way the events of this book played out this time, knowing how it was going to end and knowing what was, well, generally I forgot a few things, but I had a general idea of how this was going to go, so I was able to pay better attention to how it did play out, and I didn't really like it that much. The pacing was just odd, and honestly the best thing about it, the book itself, was Eleanor. Like, I love Eleanor. Eleanor was the best thing about this book. I loved her so much. She was a great character. She felt like she had personality. She was fleshed out. Her love for our main character Jessamine was like, it felt really genuine, and not like well, it wouldn't be insta-lovey because they're not in a romantic relationship, but just in general, that was the best thing about this book. I still enjoyed it enough to give it 3 stars, but I'm not going to be keeping it this time, and you win some, you lose some. I think if this had just been fleshed out a little bit more and maybe hadn't been so chaotic with its pacing, it would have been better. And honestly, I need to read more from Kiersten, because she really does know how to write. I've read other things from her, and she really knows how to write a story. So I need to keep up with Kiersten White. I just need to remember to, because it's been a minute. And then also, I am not halfway, maybe like a quarter of the way into Sing the Four Quarters. Quarter of the way into Sing the Four Quarters. I didn't plan that. Anyway, despite reading the back of this when I first pulled it for, was it my bubblegum or was it my bubblegum, right? Yeah, it was my bubblegums. Despite reading the back of this when I pulled it from my bubblegum pool, my yearly bubblegum pool, I forgot there was pregnancy in this. Like, completely forgot that the main character is pregnant, even though it literally says in the back she's pregnant. It's like the first thing you find out about her besides being like the Princess Bard. She's pregnant. And that plays a huge part of this entire story. Which, I mean, I could live without, but also I want to see where it's gonna go with this, because her baby daddy, for lack of another word, the father of her child, is in danger, essentially. There's like things happening. He's a little too trusting with certain people. He has another son of his own, which you open with him, with his child. He doesn't know that she's pregnant. That'll come into play. It is so far seemingly more focused on her pregnancy, because in this world, bards, which are the main character of the story itself, our main character is a bard, can sing something called the Four Quarters, which are the four elements. And her pregnancy, our main character, Anise, is proficient in wind, but she can sing all four quarters. She gets pregnant, all of a sudden she can't sing all the quarters. She can only sing earth. Yeah, earth. Which she wasn't very good at before. It just becomes a struggle for the plot, because she can't sing her four quarters. She has to deal with this pregnancy, and the father of her child is a little dumb. He's in danger. He's having some trouble. It's not as fun as I would like it to be, which I mean, maybe it's not supposed to be a fun topic, but whatever. But I think it'll grow on me a little bit more as I go through it. I get the best part of this for me is the fact that, like, our main character is queer. She's bi. She, despite having a baby with a man she met on the road, is in a sapphic relationship with another woman, which you find out really fast. And it's just like normalized. There's a lot of queer characters, side characters. Our main character is queer, but like there's a lot of queer side characters. There's a lot of queer relationships, and it's just like a thing. Like, it's not spotlighted as anything as unusual or anything like that. It's just woven into the history and the story and the characters. And I love that. Like, I love when it's just like, yeah, he and his partner, whatever. So even if I don't enjoy this series, I'm gonna see if I can find more from Tanya Huff, because I wonder if her books have that kind of nonchalant queerness to it, and I really hope so, because I love it when they do that. Oh, and also, before I forget, I went to the bookstore yesterday. Remember that thing where I was like, I go through all my bubblegum quarters and then I buy a new book? That's completely gone down the drain, because they released a new version of The Martian, and I can't say no to a new edition of The Martian. Oh, I didn't even notice the papers. So happy. I hate orange, but I'm so happy. I guess I don't hate orange. I tend to not like violently orange books, but this I'll make an exception for this. If you don't know, The Martian is my favorite book. I am trying desperately to collect as many copies as I can, because I love this book so much. Project Hail Mary is also very good. I love Project Hail Mary too, but The Martian, something about The Martian itself, this is my favorite book. I love this book. This has become part of my personality. If you want a book that like encapsulates my kind of humor, it's The Martian. And then not book related, but me related. I collect tarot card decks, and I found this one. Actually, my sister found it. I haven't opened it yet, but it just looks so cool. I love the shape of the cards. So I had to get this one. When I find one that's just like different or interesting, or I love the art, I have to get it. Oh, this is cool. It slides out from the bottom. Look at that. That's neat. Oh, that's cool. Oh, it's got like a nice booklet. This is a nice booklet. Oh, it's got like pictures of all the cards too. Oh, I love these. I don't know if that's gonna show up. It's got the foiling and the red details. Oh, that is so cool. In the back of the card. That is so cool. It's fantasy inspired oracle. The shepherd, the smith. Oh, that is so cool. Ooh, the painter. That one's cool. Okay, enough of that. I also love non-traditional tarot decks. I have quite a few different tarot decks. Anyway, thanks for indulging me. I've once again forgotten to not only wrap up the whole video, but literally give my final update on this and then wrap up the video. So that's why I'm in my pajamas currently. Really hope it's not picking up the vacuum. If you can hear my vacuum in the background, I'm so sorry. I just realized that is still going. So I ended up giving Sing 4 Quarters 2.5 stars, because while it was written pretty well and I enjoyed parts of the story. It was a very long, drawn out doing of the same thing. We find out she's pregnant, she goes to the guy, he is in some deep shit, they run away, and then it's like a wild goose chase almost, because she, with her brother, who is the king, just have like this thing going on. It's miscommunication, mistrust. Harley is rolling around in that chair, she's gonna fall. And it was a whole lot of words for a very frustrating situation. And we didn't really get as much bard stuff as I was hoping, because this is a bard series. It's about being a bard. It honestly is more about pregnancy and politics than anything. And then, you know, whatever's going on with her and her brother, because she is a former princess. She gave up being a princess to be a bard. But yeah, 2.5, I would recommend this if you're looking for queer stories that that were written in like the 80s. Was this the 80s or was this the 90s? This might have been the 90s. Yeah, 94. So if you're looking for 90s queer stories, this absolutely should go on the list, because this is filled with such casual queerness that I was ecstatic about that part. I was so excited about that part, because it's just like, yeah, that's just what we do. She has a girlfriend, he has a boyfriend, their partners are the same sex, it's whatever. Oh, you want an heir, but you have a husband? Have a contract birth. It's genius. I love it. I love that so much. That was my favorite part. If only it wasn't so wordy for absolutely nothing. But anyway, that means I can finally wrap all of this up. It has been months. In the end, we got a 2.5, a 1-star, another 1-star, a 2-star, a 4-star, a 2-star, a 3-star, another 4-star, another 2-star, and another 2.5 star. And that was the entirety of this very long reading vlog. I don't know if it's going to be long for you. It was very long for me. I don't know what I'm editing this down to, but I'm in the middle of another vlog that I'm actually having a lot of fun with. That might come up next, I think. Yeah, that should be next. So it's like a themed reading vlog that I ended up deciding to do. And then I have no idea what's coming next, because I've got a few things going. Anyway, more coming up, more reading coming up, more me being displeased with literally everything coming up. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Bye.